do this thing.
We do this thing? Okay. I'm going to call the regular June 3rd Columbus City Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. Amanda, roll call, please.
Kathy Gardner.
Here.
Patricia Hatcher.
Here.
John Kissinger.
Here.
Anthony Romano.
Here.
And Swornick.
Present. All right. Previous meeting minutes. We have 4, so we're going to start with October 1st, 2024. Does anybody have objections to the minutes?
Just have a real quick change. On page 2, down about towards the middle, it says Miss Gardner why. So it's on page 2. Ask, I guess, needs to be in there. Ask why the board. That's it. Very minor, but.
All right. Anybody else have any changes? If not, can I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted with that just minor little correction.
I have a motion from Kathy.
Second.
And I have a second from Tony. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 1 abstention. Okay. The next one is we have October. How did we do? How was I? Let's get to the right one. December. Do I have anybody that has any questions or changes to the October minutes? November, December minutes. I've got too many in front of me here.
I'd move to accept the minutes.
I got one from Tony.
I second that.
Got a second from Kathy. All those in favor, raise the right hand.
Abstain.
1 abstain. Thank you. Okay, let me see if I can grab the right one now. Let's go to February. All right, the February meeting minutes. Does anybody have a question or concerns with that one? If not, I'll attend the motion.
Make a motion.
I have one motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor, raise the right hand.
And I'm going to abstain because I was not able to read those. I might not have even been there.
You were not.
You weren't.
Actually,
I was here, but you weren't.
I think that one you were electronic.
Yes, I think so too. So, okay.
You wasn't doing snow angels and.
Not yet.
Okay.
No, I'd already done them.
Oh, okay, all right.
In the sand.
In the sand.
In the sand.
All right, the last we have March. March meeting minutes. Do I have anybody has any questions?
I'll move to accept.
I have a motion to accept from Tony,
Second.
and I have a second from, that was you, Kathy?
That's me.
Oh, that's you, Pat. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
I'll abstain because I could not get those. I could not get on that night. So I know I couldn't do that.
All right. That closes the minutes, and we are going to move on to the witness to the oath. So Mr. Hockemeyer can swear up. Anybody in that wants to speak tonight, please stand, raise your right hand.
Even if you might possibly speak, please take the oath. Raise your right hands. Thank you very much. Do you, or the other right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony that you were about to offer will be the truth? If so, answer, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nathan, do we have any old business tonight?
We do not.
All right. Moving on to new business. We have 25-C-VAR-6. Sabrina Martinez is asking for a variance on a fence height. Nathan, give us the staff report.
Sure thing. So bring that up. So this is located at 183 North Henry Lane, zoned R1, single family residential. It's lot 46 of Irish Glen on the east side of US 30. What is being proposed is to construct a 6-foot tall wood privacy fence, which would include enclose most of the west yard, the backyard. This is a corner lot. The proposed setbacks for the fence are 11 feet, give or take, from the west property line, which avoids the platted easement on that side, about 3.5 feet from the north property line, and about 10 feet from Bridget Lane right-of-way on the south side. Staff is not aware of a homeowners association in Irish Glen. There does seem to be some provision in the covenants. Let me make sure that this is it. That no fences are to be placed near this to a street unless approved by the architectural committee. If there is one, again, you guys don't enforce covenants, but you've asked for me to include those notes before if I can. As a reminder, this is needing a variance because the maximum height for fences in front yards is 4 feet. That was just adopted last week, 2 weeks ago. And then for reference, front yard has a specific definition, which we've talked about before, but doesn't really come into play with this one. So highlighted there in blue is the subject yard. The pink dashed lines are easements. The yellow dashed lines are the platted setbacks. This does have a 35-foot platted building line, which matches the R1 standard. Guess I didn't have to zoom in. Here's a closer view. The submitted site plan, you can see that the where the location of the fence is going to go, enclosing the shed, playset, and most of this. Notably, it does not go very far up the side of the house. It aligns with the back of the body of the house here. The snippet of the plat for reference, if we need to refer to that. Going to the review criteria quickly, staff doesn't feel that this would be particularly injurious to public health safety. While it does come closer to the right-of-way because of the fact that this is on a short cul-de-sac and the visibility on that cul-de-sac really won't be affected by having a fence nearer than the front setback. This doesn't go up to the right-of-way line, which is an important distinction. It still does have a 10-foot setback. Use and value, again, staff doesn't feel would be substantially impacted. Really wouldn't have any impact on the use of the surrounding properties because there are setbacks involved, and value, the area already has, other neighbors have similar fences throughout the subdivision. Strict application, creating practical difficulties, that is one that I can't direct you to a specific practical difficulty because this corner lot is very similar to virtually every other corner lot, especially in the subdivision. However, there are other corner lots in the subdivision that do have similar privacy fence encroachments as well. Whether they were done illegally or not, don't know. That would involve a lot of research going back quite a few years. But the fact that they're there may be a practical difficulty in that there's a consistency or fairness. But again, it's the application of the strict application of the terms of the ordinance that you're looking at. And there may be others that you may reveal as you discuss with the petitioner as well. So with that, any questions for me?
Is anybody?
Nothing else.
All right, would the petitioner please come to the podium and raise your right hand and give us your address and kind of fill us in on
Hi,
reason why.
I'm Sabrina Martinez. My address is 183 North Anne Marie Lane, Columbia City, Indiana, 46725.
Thank you.
The reason for the fencing is I am disabled now and I want to have my service dog back at home. So she's out at the farm where my ex is at and he's got her. So I need to have her back with me. So currently that's why I'm having the fence put up and I have the money now to put a fence up. And amounts to the money that I had to put out for all of this. And having to extend out my fence. That was my main reason for the corner lot when I purchased this, was to build a fencing. Not necessarily when I got my dog, but because this happened 5 years ago to me. I was paralyzed from the collarbone down. I've got Parkinson's and Guillain-Barré, which I've got neuropathy. She's a great support animal, and I don't want her out. To get out, like a neighbor on the other end of the other cul-de-sac had a German Shepherd break through the window and tried to attack another neighbor. I don't want that for my dog to be feared for other people. I want her to have enough room to roam around in the yard when she's not with me. So I want to be able to have my animals back home with me and my daughter. My daughter is autistic, so I want to make sure that she's able to have support at home also, and the security for the animal, and not for my neighbors to be feared for them. So that's pretty much my reasoning for the amount of yard to be taken up, for that safety of my neighbors. The neighbor behind me that has the fencing over there, they have a little dog that the neighbor in the other cul-de-sac about got taken out by that dog. I want to make sure everybody's safe. I know when I had my little dog and I had an in-ground fence, that the neighbors before would let their dog out on the little leash that they could recoil it back, would taunt my dog. And it's not fair to other animals to be treated that way. I'd rather have them in fencing than let them roam. And you don't know what other animals are bringing into your yard, any kind of diseases or anything. So I want to make sure my pet is safe along with everybody else's pets, along with the kids that play in the area. So I know that there's some women out there that carry mace around, and it's not safe for them to carry it around if they can't use it properly either against animals. So I want to make sure that everybody's safe in the neighborhood from my animal along with themselves. And that's why I'm asking for enough of my yard to be utilized. That was the whole reason I purchased that corner lot back in 2002 as a single parent.
Does anybody got any questions?
Is the 10 feet measured from the sidewalk?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm not approaching all the way to the sidewalk. I wouldn't do that. I have a neighbor lady across the street that comes over and she mows my yard just for fun, to keep herself exercised up. So, and I offer to give her gift cards and everything else like that. She's like, nope, I don't want any money. I don't want anything. But I've given her food cards and stuff like that and whatnot. So she goes around and mows everybody's yards actually. So,
Well, when I was there today, measured from the sidewalk into to the tree trunk, and it's like 15 feet.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this drawing here. It appears it's like 10 feet from the sidewalk.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not opposed to having it 10 feet in. I wasn't going to take up the whole yard anyways. I just want enough room for her to roam around if she's not in the house. The house is only 900 square foot, roughly. It's not a huge house. So for my size of dog that I have, she's not little. And she thinks she's a lap dog, and she's not.
All right, does anybody else have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here that would like to speak on behalf of the petitioner? Is there anyone here that'd like to speak against the petitioner? Hearing none, I close the floor and open up the board discussion. Got any questions?
Well, being out there, normally I'm not a big proponent of fences in a front yard like this. However, in going out there, I really did not feel that this fence would look out of character. She's already got the fence along the west side end up and around on the north and east sides around to the house. It looks really nice. So I get the reasoning behind it too. You got a place set right in the yard there too, I see. So I just guess I would like to make sure she was a minimum of 10 feet from the sidewalk. She's going to measure that way. That's my opinion.
All right. Tony, you have anything? That? The warden? Anything? No? Okay, I'll attend a motion or
I'll make a motion that we approve variance 25C 6 for the height variance with the stipulation that the south fence line is a minimum of 10 feet from the sidewalk or off of the sidewalk.
I'll second that.
I have a motion from Kathy and a second from Tony. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Sabrina. All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. We have 25-C-VAR-7. Jeffrey Lupke. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Variance of a fence height for 839 South Redstone Court. Nathan, staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So going to these slides. This property is at 839 South Redstone Court, zoned R2, two-family residential. Lot 17 of Seeks Village. What is being proposed is to construct up to an 8-foot tall wood privacy fence extension, already existing privacy fence on the property, on the east side of the yard, and then also partially on the north and south sides. And I'll point out that a little bit more in the site plan. The current 6-foot fence was permitted and installed in 2016. There is no HOA in this subdivision, and there were no fence restrictions that I could find in the covenants or standards for fences in the covenants. The applicable development standard is that residential fences are limited to 6 foot in height, no matter where they're located. So this highlighted in blue is the subject property. Redstone Court is there to the left. This view has the topography turned on. The pink lines are 2-foot contours. So you can see that in the backyard, you're going from an 858 contour basically up against the house, down to an 856 where the existing fence is, which is also the edge of the platted easement, and then most likely continues down a little bit farther to where the property line is as well. I have to assume drainage swale was intended through there. I'm not sure how much water actually flows through there at any point in time, but it definitely drops off to more than 2 feet, maybe even 3 or even north of 3 feet between the house and the property line. Oblique view, you again can see some of that drop off here. If you look closely, these fences, you can see that the one on the east is relatively flat, but both of these fences have an angle to them, and you can especially see this up here on the north one where the fence drops off. The proposed site plan showing that this eastern portion would have the 2-foot extension to accommodate or compensate for that 2-foot drop in elevation, and then to make everything look relatively even, the petitioner is proposing to basically blend it back westward. I believe 1 panel or 2 panels on either side, and he can give you more specific details on both, but it would be blended back down to that 6 foot height on those 2 corners. The petitioner's photos that he submitted again showing the arrangement of the backyard. The upper left one would be looking northeast towards this shed. The upper right one is to the southeast. You can see that, again, it does drop off somewhat. And you can see already the fence of the neighbor on the other side of the utility easement. And then the bottom one here, you can see, again, that fence that is beyond his property. Normally, with a 6-foot privacy fence, you can't see beyond it if you're in the backyard. But again, there is a substantial drop in grade between where he's standing on the patio and that back property line. Another view. This is from Google Street View. The photos I took when I was out there honestly just didn't show quite the angle that this does. So going to the review criteria for this case, I don't feel that this would be injurious to public health, safety. An extra 2 feet of fence, especially when it's only a portion of the yard, really wouldn't impact the safety of the area, definitely wouldn't impact the health. Sometimes when you have fences that are tall, you do worry about the ability to have people go in case of emergency, but again, this is only a portion of the overall fence. Use and value, use wouldn't be affected of any of the neighboring lots. We don't have, like we do at the lakes, where views are very important. Actually, the opposite is the case here, trying to block views with the additional value. Might be affected just because the fence would be somewhat out of norm, but I would say that it's likely not going to be substantial. The fence itself is very much similar to other fences in the area, being a wood privacy fence. And a practical difficulty, definitely the 2.5 to 3 feet worth of grade drop between the house and that back property line definitely is a site-specific practical difficulty. Not specific only to this lot. Several other lots in this area have similar grades, but very specific to that cause. I will say in the research I did for the recent fence code amendment, many codes do have ways of addressing this that allow for average height, height from a, say 6 foot, but it's an averaged height. So you do have the ability to go higher if you need to because of grade. So there are codes out there that address this in other fashions. I didn't include it in the amendment because we're trying to keep it simple, but just FYI, this is a concept that other communities have dealt with. So any questions for me?
I don't believe so. Will the petitioner like to come to the podium and please give your name and address and fill us in on anything else that Nathan did not?
Hello, my name is Jeff Lupke. Is how we
Lupke,
usually
okay.
pronounce it. No Y.
Okay.
At 839 South Redstone Court, Columbia City, Indiana, 46725. And this is the first year of my full retirement where there's just no work at all. So I mean a lot of hours on my hands, a lot. And the house that I have over there, the living room is the centralmost room in the house. Everything is built around it. There's no skylights, no windows. It's very dark all year round, and it's hard to get any fresh air in. So I kind of feel like it's imperative that I try to use my 3-season room, my patio, my backyard as much as I can. Or I would just be sitting in that living room 12 months a year, 16 hours a day. So I'm outside a lot. I like to grill, like to do some yard work, listen to the radio, play on the laptop. And one thing my family has always done over 50 plus years is we like to watch the Cubs. We turn the Cubs on because it's just a good way to pass time during the summertime. So my little setup there, I have a little 32-inch TV in my 3-season room, and I can spin it swivel it inside when it's rainy or cold, or I'm assuming the next couple of weeks when the mosquitoes get real bad, I'll be in there a lot. Or I can swivel it outside where I just sit on my little patio and watch the TV. But I'm asking, for the fence raise because I don't want to try to disturb anybody else. I mean, my whole goal is to try to utilize the area I have available to me without disrupting the neighborhood around me. And it's my goal just to, like I said, make sure that everybody is comfortable in the situation, but that I can still kind of use the lot and the area that I have. So by raising the fence, it would give a much more level area of privacy where it feels like it's way private up by the house, and then there's just a whole line of sight right on the east side there. It would be the quickest, the most sturdy, constructed, and the most permanent thing I think I could do because all the other options I have just, I would worry about the wind. It's just so windy around here. I've never lived in Columbia City before, and I don't know if we're high up there or what, but it just blows every day. Hopefully, it would go ahead and it would minimize any discomfort or annoyance that I am causing to the neighbors on the other side just from being out. I'm out sometimes 8-10 hours a day. And it would, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read my notes here. It would give me a little peace of mind to know that I have tried pretty much everything I can try. This would be the 9th thing that I have tried since starting this. And I really just started in March when I first got outside. Last year, I was working 80% of the time, so I didn't get to use any of the facility or any of the yard much. But without taking too much time, just like to say, the first thing I think I did is I bought a house with a privacy fence. So, I was trying to get a little area where I could just sit back and kind of live without affecting anybody. The 3-season room didn't have any blinds or anything in it. It was just 7 windows and a door. And it's up a little higher than the patio. So when you sat in it, you just felt like you were in a fishbowl. And I never got to use it. I went this year and I ordered and installed 7 blinds for the patio. They took a long time. They came from China. I talked to a lady named, I believe her name was Sally, and she said she was in, utilities. And when I was talking to her about the TV, she said the thing that we would be the most worried about is the noise, or if there's any noise. So what I ended up doing is I ended up getting a pair of earbuds, and I listen to nothing but the earbuds now with the radio if I'm playing any music. And they've turned out to be a real blessing because not only can we not hear your music, but you can't hear anything. I tried 3 different levels for the TV. I started out with a regular stand at 24 inches. Then I turned it on its belly and it went down to 15 inches. I couldn't tell where the sight line was. And then I ended up scrapping the stand altogether and I went and just got a hard side suitcase. So now it's 7 inches off the ground. The TV itself is only like 29 inches, the top of it. So no matter where you're looking down at it. I have researched potted plants for around the patio. I researched shrubs and trees for around the fence line to see if we could do that. Of course, they would have to be at least up to 8 feet tall. I looked at flower boxes that go onto the fence and the flower boxes that sit on your patio that have like the trellis. I've looked at all of those and they're all possibilities. But again, with the wind, I'm very, very leery of what I'm setting out there. I don't want to have anything blowing or projectiles. I rearranged things on the patio because when I sit down and I look east, all I see is fence and rooftops, and I love it. That's perfect for me. But when I turn north, there is one house on the northeast corner he was showing that you can see the back of the house a little bit. So I tried, in fact, I was kind of laughing because you guys seen I tried my fake plant there. It was actually my old fake Christmas tree that I just used the top of it on. That's why it was laying there. And it was like the most hillbilly looking thing you've ever seen. But I was born in Indiana in the 60s, so I'll own that. I'll own that. But anyways, I ended up moving my grill over so that when I do sit there and I watch the Cubs game, I can't see anything but fence and treetops. I bought the biggest thing, or it took me the longest, was on my TV. It's an old set. And there was no port to actually put headphones on. So I had to do a little researching, and I had to go out and get, it's called a Y adapter. And a Y adapter sticks into the ports for like the speaker outputs, and then you can plug your headphones into that. The 8th thing was I bought a 15-foot extension cord for the headphones, so I can actually have the TV on and sitting on the patio and still just listen to headphones. Nobody could hear it. And then the last thing was going through the variance process. And I just say that to say I'm actually trying my darndest to see if I can make this work for everyone. I really am. But besides that, I don't know if I have anything else to say. If there's any questions.
Now you'll be using the old fence with an addition to the top of it, right?
No. What they're proposing is we just take the entire east section down.
Okay.
And start over, because right now they just have 4x4 or 4x4, I think, posts, and then the board's to 6 feet. Well, we're going to have to go a little bigger. I think it's 4x6 or 4x8 to make it sturdy, and then you're going to go just solid 8-foot planks.
Okay.
And what it would be is it would be the entire east side and one section of the southeast, like from the 4x4 to the 4x4. And then from there, we were going to diagonal down from 8 to 6 over by the shed on the northeast side. We weren't going to really do that section because of the shed. Nobody can see through. I can't see out. But we were just going to take that 8-foot board on the very stop of the east side and then diagonal down right to there. I was going to use a company called Sam & Sons here in town. And anything else? Or?
I don't.
Any questions? Thank you.
Oh, that's okay. My heart still beats.
Let's hope it's not that
Okay, is there anyone else here that'd like to speak on behalf of the petitioner? Is there anyone here that would like to speak against the petitioner? Hearing none, I close the floor and open it to board discussion.
I make a motion for the approval of 20C-VAR-7.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Dennis and a second from Tony. All those in favor raise their right hand. Opposed?
And I was going to say the reason why I would be against it is because we had a petition come before this board requesting an 8-foot fence, privacy fence by the Huntleys, and that was denied. And so I feel like I need to be consistent with my voting on this.
All right. Any other business tonight, Nathan?
No, but I have a couple quick reports,
All right.
unless you had other business for me.
I do not.
So first one is a notice that legal counsel is switching as of July 1. Greg is not going to be legal counsel anymore for the board. Glenn Reimers, who's out in the audience, waving. Just stand up, come on. There we go. Who's been the legal counsel for the Plan Commission, he's now going to take over for BZA as well. Greg kind of filled in for the board here the last few months while going got his feet wet with Plan Commission and so on. So you'll be seeing him the next time we have a meeting. And then the other thing is a reminder that our 5th Monday training session is coming up at the end of this month on June 30th. It will be here at 6 o'clock, and the tentative topic is going to be ethics and conflicts of interest. And I love AI.
I was going to say that.
Generating this real nice representative image of what conflicts of interest are. So
Harvey from Suits.
yeah. Notice it says Plan Commission, not Board of Zoning Appeals. You guys are cool. But anyway, so yeah, seriously, a reminder that that's coming up at the end of the month. And that's what I had for you.
All right,
Motion to close.
we have a motion to
Second.
end the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
June